Live from Fox 30, this is Action News at 10. Your questions answered.
Take a look at the terror that swept across our country. This tornado is one of more than a dozen that touched down in the past 2 days, leaving behind it a trail of destruction and death. Some of that nasty weather is rolling through Georgia and Florida right now. First Alert HD radar is showing those storms headed our way, but without the watches and warnings we saw earlier today. Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Catherine Barnum. Thank you for joining us. Right now, the death toll stands at 36, but will likely go up as crews search for survivors. The southern states are being hit extremely hard in this round of severe weather. Several classrooms were damaged and part of the roof was blown off a school outside Atlanta. Officials are now working to figure out if it will be safe for students to go back on Monday. Our tornado caused widespread damage near Charlotte, North Carolina. The strong winds downed trees and power lines and knocked out electricity to more than 2,000 people there. The death toll in southern Indiana has now gone up to 4 after tornadoes tore through that state. The devastation has made it difficult for rescue workers to get to damaged communities. The scene is especially scary for some people in Alabama. Much of that area in Madison County was still being rebuilt from the April 2011 tornado that hit that same area. For some, it was a feeling of deja vu.
I felt very confident yesterday morning that we were going to be okay. I never thought that this would happen twice, and it's extremely hard because I have my home with my kids, and I have my childhood home with my mother that we're both having to start over, and we don't really.
The search for survivors continues even into the night. Susan McGinnis is in Henryville, Indiana, with the story.
First responders combed through the rubble searching for tornado survivors.
We just hope that we've not left any stone unturned at this point.
This crew in Henryville, Indiana, picked up a photo album they hope to get to its owner.
I've had several families say that after the fact. They'll say, you know, that's the only picture we found. That's all we have left of our family.
The tornado demolished the town, sending a school bus into a building, dropping a tractor trailer on a gas station, and shearing the walls off of homes.
I've seen some of the most intense and incredible damage I've ever seen.
The tornado that tore through Henryville headed across the state line into eastern Kentucky, cutting a path of destruction 52 miles long.
The National Weather Service is classifying it as F4.
It's in that violent category that's most tornadoes never come anywhere near to.
One young survivor is recovering at a Louisville Children's Hospital. Rescuers in Salem, Indiana, found the 2-year-old in a field near her home. In Ohio, a twister tore up the town of Moscow, killing several people. And at least one person died in Alabama, where the first storms started Friday morning. Back in Henryville, longtime resident Wayne Jones is trying to stay positive.
I have insurance that covers everything. I'll just pay everything off and start over.
Jones will have to start with finding a new place to live. In Henryville, Indiana, Susan McGinnis, Action News.
President Obama has called the governors of Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio to promise federal assistance in their recovery. Taking a live look now over the River City with the Action News Skycam, where things are about to get a little noisy, and all that noise is signaling a temperature change as well. Let's get the latest from meteorologist Julie Watkins.
All right, yes, we're going to notice a huge temperature change as we go into the day tomorrow. So today we actually broke a record high, 87 degrees, and we're going to be a good 20 to 25 degrees cooler for tomorrow. As of right now, we still have the line of some showers and thunderstorms that are straddling the border here from southeast Georgia down across western portions of Florida at this hour. So just north of Lake City, we're beginning to see some of those showers trying to nudge into the area. We have some pockets of some heavy rain on this leading edge that's going to continue to slowly sink southward here. As I mentioned, it is still to the west of Lake City, but it is expected to arrive in areas right around the I-75 corridor there, Lake City, Lake Butler, within the next hour or so, and then the next couple of hours for Nassau and Duval County, where much of the day has remained quiet with just a hit or miss shower out there for the most part. But the biggest event was in southeast Georgia from earlier today, and that's where we saw most of the damage reports coming in. So we're going to detail that for you, of course, coming up in a little bit. But the tornado watch boxes, those have since expired. We did have reports of some rotation, funnel clouds clouds in southeast Georgia, including this picture in Waycross that was taken by a weather spotter. But look at this temperature change, 15 degrees cooler already in Waycross, our hour by hour indicating at least in downtown Jacksonville. We're going to stay mild with temperatures cooling off into the low 50s by 7 o'clock, and then definitely seeing much cooler weather during the afternoon. So much more details coming up in the Cleat forecast.
All right, thanks, Julie. We are following some breaking news out of Putnam County tonight. One man is dead and another is recovering after jumping off a bridge. It happened at the Dunn's Creek Bridge near Old San Mateo Road in East Palaca. They were horseplaying on the bridge when they jumped off and one of them hit a passing boat. Ryan Smith has the very latest.
It was a deadly dive off the Dunn's Creek Bridge. You can see just how high the bridge stands over the water. Obviously not a safe activity. Now one man is dead after jumping off of the bridge and landing not in the water, but in a boat passing by. It all started as a day of boating with friends on Dunn's Creek. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, 3 men went to a nearby store and on their way back to the boat, took a deadly detour. FWC officials say 22-year-old Matthew Holder and 23-year-old Mark Hedstrom jumped off of the Dunn's Creek Bridge right as a boat was passing underneath.
One of the people who jumped actually landed in the boat. The other one hit the boat and ended up in the water.
Hill says Holden was killed when he landed inside. His friend, Hedstrom, escaped without any injuries. Both are from Satsuma. Hill says she doesn't know how many people were on the boat, but no one on board was injured.
What lesson does this provide for people out on the water as the warmer months come?
This is really a sad way to be heading into the boating season this early on, and it's just a reminder to just be careful no matter what you're doing out there on the water.
The Florida Wildlife Commission is continuing their investigation. An autopsy is scheduled for Monday. Reporting from Putnam County tonight, Ryan Smith, Fox 30 Action News.
And investigators say it's unclear at this time whether alcohol was involved. We are following more breaking news out of Jacksonville Beach tonight. Police tell us one person is dead after a shooting in the 100 block of Evans Drive. Details are still coming into the Action Newsroom. We do know it resulted in some sort of domestic violence fight that escalated. Police say the suspect is in custody. They're still figuring out how the two are related. A family is trying to figure out how a toddler drowned in a backyard pool. This tragedy happened at a home on Terry Parker Drive in Arlington. Police tried to revive the 2-year-old girl when they got on the scene, but it just wasn't enough. She died on the way to the hospital. Neighbors we spoke with there say they were pretty shook up by the loss. Right this minute, BP is preparing to hand out one of the biggest settlements in U.S. history, an agreement to pay nearly $8 billion for its role in the 2010 oil spill. Today, BP chose to settle instead of going to court over the largest oil spill off our nation's coast. The explosion from the Deepwater Horizon rig killed 11 workers and allowed 200 million gallons of oil to seep into the Gulf of Mexico. Under the terms of the deal, BP is not admitting fault, but there is no cap on the financial settlement. BP estimates it could pay out nearly $8 billion to those who sued. That's on top of the $8 billion that has been handed out from a $20 billion fund. Well, you will be paying more of your money into your gas tank for the 25th straight day. Prices at the pump have gone up. AAA now puts the average price of regular unleaded at $3.76 a gallon. Just last month, we were paying around $3.46. Today, President Obama spoke out about the increases. He says there's no magic bullet that will bring gas prices down, which it makes more imperative, though, that the nation look towards alternative fuels.
We can't just drill our way out of this problem. While we consume 20% of the world's oil, we only have 2% of the world's oil reserves. We've got to develop new technologies that will help us use new forms of energy.
The president is also asking Americans to contact their local members of Congress if they'd like the government to stop sending $4 billion of taxpayer subsidies every year to oil companies. And of course, Action News is tracking the cheapest gas prices right down to your neighborhood. Bring and log on to actionnewsjax.com and click the gas price tab so you can save some money. The Republican presidential candidates are campaigning hard in Ohio as they're gearing up for Super Tuesday. Fox News correspondent Steve Brown reports from the Buckeye State, a key battleground in the general election.
Great to be in Ohio. Rick Santorum in a key Super Tuesday battle in Ohio has found some help.
We've got great grassroots support here in this state.
He's benefiting from existing Ohio social conservative networks.
We're Americans, and we're proud of it. Woo!
The Susan B. Anthony List bus, fresh off 22 stops in Michigan, has rolled through Ohio and will be back this weekend.
It's a huge state, but a rolling billboard is very powerful. It's very encouraging to people that care about life, marriage, and religious liberty.
And well-known conservative activist Phil Burris says the grassroots intensity even surprises him.
The level of activity is because we have a candidate that truly believes in what we believe in. Pro-life, pro-family, all the way down the line.
Burris says grassroots fervor trumps money, and lots of money is being spent on the air in Ohio by the Romney campaign.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
The vast majority attack ads targeting Santorum for votes supporting government-funded family planning.
Even though I don't support it, that I voted for bills that included it.
Once again, the Romney camp dominates ad spending. 4-1 versus Santorum, more than 5-1 versus Newt Gingrich. Ron Paul has opted out of spending in Ohio. And while some Ohio Republicans flinch at the combative tone of the campaign,
I don't like the bickering. I think that deters from our the decision.
The state GOP chairman says a truly tough Ohio primary,
where they are strengthened and they are able to have their resolve tested and to be vetted through a tough primary isn't always a bad thing.
Especially considering the tough Ohio fight in the general election campaign awaiting the Republican nominee against the president's re-election team, which has been working here for months in its 19 Ohio campaign offices. In Chillicothe, Steve Brown, Fox News.
A little girl is recovering tonight after doctors pulled nearly 40 magnets out of her stomach. Still to come on Action News at 10. Find out how they got there and how her parents almost didn't find out until it was too late. And a basketball coach comes home from a road trip to find out his home was robbed. Find out how security camera footage led police to one of his former players.
And I'm meteorologist Julie Watkins. It's been a rocky weather day in a lot of southeast Georgia. Now that front is beginning to push into northeast Florida. We're going to track it for you with your complete hour-by-hour forecast next.
And the Arena Bowl champion Jacksonville Sharks open up the season with a free game and a new quarterback. That, plus an inspiring player, makes a visit to our area. Jim Abbott, a man who pitched a no-hitter with only one hand, stops to talk to the Action Sports 360 crew. You can see that at the bottom of the hour.
When you see breaking news happen, call Action News at 904-564-1599 or star 47 on your cell phone.
Today's Group Pig Daily Deal is... Get an in-home glamour party from My Little Party Princess for just $149. That's a 57% savings. To get your Group Pig Daily Deal, visit actionnewsjax.com and click on the Group Pig logo.
He's got questions, she's got questions, and you've got questions. It's time somebody got answers. Fox 30 Action News. Your questions answered. Your safety questions.
How could you be serving dinner with these kind of roaches in here?
Your tough questions.
These are significant inaccuracies and delays.
Your important questions.
Why do you think a judge would say that the cameras weren't in compliance?
Remember, if you want answers, you got to ask the questions. Fox 30 Action News. Your questions answered.